Corinne here with the Biotech Stack. We are at Kilroy Oyster Point, San Francisco, joining the Women in Bio event, where they're featuring a founder showcase focusing on MedTech, diagnostics, and digital health. We had an opportunity to sit with the four panelists. They told us a little bit more about their innovative technology and the focus for 2026.
We are not just improving a workflow here, we are really replacing a century-old standard of care with an objective, data-driven solution.
We're developing a monitoring system for children and infants in the ICU that is non-invasive and accurate and gives physicians and nurses insight into what's happening inside their body without using invasive techniques.
It's not just another database. It's not just another platform. It is something that was built to be immediately clinically useful for anyone, scalable to any precision medicine concern at a population level scale.
We're developing a technology to help these women after the age of 35 to get pregnant more easily and in the IVF setting.
So stay tuned to hear a little bit more about these amazing founders, their stories, and what their innovation will look like in 2026.
My name is Roni Cantor-Balan. I'm the founder and CEO of Ciconia Medical. And we are solving a problem that nearly every woman is facing during labor, which is the reliance on vaginal exams to check labor progress. Most people know it as checking cervical dilation. These are very important exams to make critical decisions on how labor progresses and whether there is a need to intervene, but they are highly subjective, they are invasive, and they're often inaccurate. And so we are building Ilara, which is an AI-based imaging platform to be used at the bedside that will provide objective and data-driven information to clinicians in a more comfortable way for patients.
My name is Dori. I am the co-founder and CEO of a startup called WIB-San Francisco Bay Area. My background is engineering, but I am also a mom, and specifically a NICU mom. And so our team is addressing a major gap in pediatric care, which is monitoring that is validated in pediatric patients. So we're developing a monitoring system for children and infants in the ICU that is non-invasive and accurate and gives physicians and nurses insight into what's happening inside their body without using invasive techniques.
So my name is Schmolly. I am a physician at UCLA. I'm a primary care doc and a rare disease specialist. My company is called MD-zebraMD, and my mission is to improve the diagnosis and management of patients with rare and genetic disease. Currently, there is a diagnostic delay of roughly 10 to 15 years for many of those rare diseases. So you get bounced around the health systems, you develop comorbidities, maybe you get even gaslit a little bit, you get told, oh, it's anxiety, and get put on antidepressants that you might not need, you get put on the wrong drugs. So my company has figured out a way to create an AI that lives inside the EHR and connects to all the other EHRs and all your medical records and your wearables and your home care monitoring systems to predict whether or not you may have an undiagnosed disease and to give the most accurate treatment recommendations and clinical trial recruitment information and patient organizations that might be helpful for you in your specific case that gets sent directly to your treating physician at the point of care inside the EHR, as well as to you as the patient.
I'm Iris, founder and CEO of Rejoovenate Bio, and we're developing a technology to rejuvenate eggs for older women. So for the first time in history, we have more births to women over the age of 40 than to teenagers. Why is that? Because society has changed. People are spending more and more time on their education and career, and the natural consequence to that is the delay of childbirth. The problem with that is egg quality declines after the age of 35, and that makes getting pregnant much harder at an older age. We're developing a technology to help these women after the age of 35 to get pregnant more easily and in the IVF setting.
We are not just improving a workflow here, we are really replacing a century-old standard of care with an objective, data-driven solution. So today, there is no tool like ours on the market. And the combination of the clinical need, the strong economics, and the scalable platform potential make this a really strong opportunity.
There are a number of misconceptions, I think, about pediatric healthcare. So if you think about it from the investor standpoint, some may view it as a smaller market opportunity, possibly a higher regulatory burden. And that's not always the case. And really, if you look at the population of children in our country, it's 25%, which is not that small. And so it's really my mission to make sure that people see the value, not just ethically in providing solutions for pediatric patients, but also the business case for it, because there is a big need. The pediatric clinicians that I work with are really motivated to try new technologies. And so I see it as an opportunity to build something that has a real need, because there are unfortunately gaps in pediatric healthcare, with a team of clinicians that are willing to support us because they know that there's not as much technology available to them. And so it's very exciting to be building in this space.
It's something that is directly implementable and has a direct clinical action. So it's something that can affect people's lives for the better. It's not just another database. It's not just another platform. It is something that was built to be immediately clinically useful for anyone, scalable to any precision medicine concern at a population level scale.
Women's health is not charity, because women make up 55% of the world's population, and we can totally see that modern women definitely have the purchasing power to support the business case of women's health.
We are focused on clinical validation and regulatory execution. We are now advancing with our clinical prototype. We are initiating studies with strong hospital partners, and we are advancing towards our FDA submission. And so really 2026 is going to be the year where we are moving from a strong technical validation in the lab to real-world clinical proof.
It's a big year for us. We are doing our first clinical trials and preparing for our first regulatory submission this year. So that's a lot of testing, a lot of data crunching, and hopefully getting our device on as many children and babies as possible so that we can learn and build something that will be meaningful for future patients.
So here in 2026, we are completing our patient-facing app so that patients themselves can log into our platform, connect all the medical records, and get the same information that their physicians would. We will help them find the right specialists, the right treatments. And in addition, we are expanding to home care and wearables. So our patient beta test will happen this summer, where they're going to be able to explore our app and connect to all kinds of resources and see what comes out of that.
2026 is going to be an exciting year for us. So we're planning to run a proof of concept of our product on actual human cells, so like patients' eggs. And with that, we're going to generate our foundational IP, and then we want to take that forward.
To learn more about Women in Bio and future events, visit womeninbio.org.